Hello and good afternoon. I hope you're having a great work day. Thank you for joining us on today's ESA webinar, From Search to Sold, 7 Ways to Gain New Customers and Secure Repeat Ones. If you're looking for ways to obtain more new and repeat customers, put yourself in your customer's shoes. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Can your customers find you? Are you making it easy for your customers to connect, chat, or ask questions? And are you crafting long-lasting, trustworthy customer relationships? Throughout today's session, sponsored by Podium, we'll review 7 simple steps your security business can take to get more customers and increase your bottom line. Specifically, we'll be discussing how the modern customer journey has changed, what security businesses can do to leverage convenience and win more customers, and which tools can help your business adapt to meet your customers' demands. I'm Jillian Bateman, ESA's Chief Development Officer, and I'll be facilitating today's webinar. I'm going to hand it over to the experts from Podium in just a moment, but before I do, I have a few practical notes about what you can expect in today's session for those first-timers joining us. All callers will be muted for the duration of our webinar, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. At any time, feel free to ask a question by clicking into the question section of your control panel. No need to save those questions until the end of our presentation. If something pops up, go ahead and ask it, and we'll ensure we have some time at the end of today's session to address questions with our experts. We'll also be recording today's webinar, so you can rewatch the on-demand video at your leisure. You will all receive an email tomorrow thanking you for your attendance with a link to the recording. Feel free to share this with other employees and with industry peers. In your control panel, you'll see a window for a slide content. You'll also see another window with speaker's video. Hello. You can double click any one of these windows to make them larger or smaller. We at ESA realize your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you David Hepworth and Haley Sontag. David Hepworth is the head of sales from home services for Podium and has been with the company for over 3 years. Haley Sontag has worked in many areas of marketing at Podium. She mainly focuses on driving demand through specific publications and advertising. Haley received her BS from Brigham Young University in marketing, and she has a passion for understanding the market through research and customer feedback. Haley, David, I'll leave it to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jillian. We're excited to be here today and talk about the modern customer journey and kind of specifically the role that technology has played in changing it for the customer and how your security business can also leverage technology to kind of keep up with these changing preferences. So like Jillian said, my name is Haley. I am a marketing specialist here at Podium, and I am joined by David Hepworth. He's kind of our expert in the security realm here at Podium, so we're really excited to have him here with us too.
Yeah, excited to jump in with everybody on the phone here today. I think this should be a fun process and a fun flow that we're going to run through here. And a lot of it really is kind of simple. I'm not the type of guy that wants to get too much into the weeds and all the details, but I think we learn the most when we really try to simplify and kind of like what was already shared, put ourselves in that customer's shoes. What process do they go through as consumers in order to really find your business? And so we're going to kind of just start in that category, how to navigate this modern customer journey. And I think it's only appropriate to start on what that used to be, because this is something that we all resonate with. I am a millennial. I'm 30 years old, and I lived through all this internet change, which was a lot of fun. But I remember when I was 15 years old, I bought my first car. I was mowing lawns with a lawn care crew. We had like 90 lawns, and while driving home one day, I saw this little car on the side of the road for $250 cash. I went home, got the cash, drove right back that same day, and paid him $225 for the car. Now, that car did not cost $225. The repairs were much, much more of the cost. And when I look at that process, though, back then, I was just about to turn 16 now. I was just getting my license. I had this car that I was working on, and I walked downstairs, and I asked my dad, well, hey, I need to get this job done. Who would you recommend? He gave me a short list of 2 or 3 names of local auto shops. And then told me basically, well, go open the yellow pages, see who else is out there, call a few of them, get quotes from a few of them, and then, make a decision. That's what we all used to do. It was a very common process. That's how we found local businesses. We called a bunch, we wanted quotes, we wanted to compare, we wanted to get their opinion on how they would do with us. That's not what we do anymore. But this process has changed in many different shapes over the last 10, 20 years. I mean, it's 21 years since the birth of Google. There's been quite a bit of change over those last 21 years. And so kind of looking at some of the largest changes, some of the most important changes for your business. There are a couple. Obviously, the internet changed everything. We all went from the yellow pages to having websites, Google listings, home advisor accounts, Yelp accounts. And then now there's even more change. But when you think about some of this, it's really a simple process. Today, the two biggest changes are Google reviews. Those have become, over the last 5 years, one of the most important areas where you as a business owner can focus with your online presence. We'll dive a little bit into some of those details on what that means for you, but that has had so much change for both how Google displays businesses and how we as consumers actually go through that decision and buying process. The second largest change that's gone on in the last, actually it's about 3 years now. 2017 was the turning point. 2017, more than half of web traffic went mobile. Now today, that's about 80 to 90%. I mean, think about you as a consumer again. Don't think about yourself as a business owner here, but you as a consumer and how you engage online. We pull out our cell phone, we search for services. Dealerships near me, plumbers near me, dentists near me, all of these search terms. Or we go broad and we search, home alarm monitoring systems, motion detector cameras. And Google uses that cell phone data to really show us local search results. They know where we are all located already, so they know how to then start to map this all in. So talking a little bit about the modern journey today. The Google goal is the same today that it was 21 years ago. They want to help consumers find what they're looking for. Plain and simple. I'm going to search for something, they're going to give me an output. So when I'm looking for a home security provider, I am obviously looking for a good company. That's just inherent in my search, and Google knows this. Now, 7 years ago, when I did that search term, it was different than what I see today. I would search for the best security provider near me, and Google tried to filter of all the options who is good and who's not. They created this huge sophisticated SEO algorithm, search engine optimization, which I'm sure many of you have invested and spent a lot of money into. You should. It helps you get better recognition, better links, a better website, a cleaner process, and all of those help Google think you're probably a better company because of all that optimization. And then you go up higher in the search results. What ended up happening, though, is it wasn't just the local businesses. It was those that spent the most money. They kind of are the ones that won that game the most. Home Advisor, Yelp, Angie's List. All these third-party engines were always the first listed businesses. And you'd search on Google, local security companies, and then Home Advisor's #1 listing said, here's the top 10 local security companies in your area. And Google saw that. They saw their traffic was leaving them and going to Home Advisor. Because Home Advisor told everybody what was up. They said that John is better than Sally, Sally is better than June, and nobody call Mike. He's a sleazeball and he doesn't have a good business. That's why we use those engines. Google reviews, though, now, over the last 5 years, have completely changed that dynamic again. They saw that we as consumers want reviews. It's how we look for restaurants, how we look for movies, Amazon products, recipes online. Like, we have been conditioned as consumers to naturally look for Google reviews, or just look for stars. Look for that kind of consumer behavior, that consumer confidence. And so now Google put in reviews in, and they are taking market share away from all those old giants. Home Advisor, Yelp, Angie's List, most of them are starting to lose now in that Google search space because Google has that as well. They'll tell you who's better than who. But the added benefit of this is it also simplified Google's project. Again, like their goal, help me find what I'm looking for. And if I'm looking for a good security provider, guess how they know if you're good today or not? If your customers say you're good. Plain and simple. The more customers that you have write about your business, write about the services you provided, write about how they felt about you as a business owner, where those customers live. All of those data points from these Google reviews help Google know exactly what type of business you are. They'll know where you service, what services you provide, and whether or not they should trust you and share your business name out there. So today, the more Google reviews you get, the more visibility you get online. And as a consumer, yep, we all behave that way. We look for reviews, we want to have confidence, we want to make sure that if we're about to make a purchase, there's little risk. We don't call 10 companies anymore and ask a quote for each. We do a quick Google search, we see who's the #1 rated in the area, we call them first. If they don't pick up, we call the second best rated one in the area. And we go down that list until somebody picks up the phone and we have confidence in their product and they sell us that service. That's a little bit about where we're coming from today, but let's kind of dive in a little bit now on the specifics of your Google presence, some of the things that matter in this online space, and what you really kind of want to be focused as far as optimization for that listing.
And putting yourself again in your customer's shoes, like David was saying, for whatever we're getting, most people are pulling out their phones and searching for security systems near me, or if they're searching on Amazon, they're reading for product reviews, they're looking at the best options of what hundreds of other people have said about these different products, and they're picking the one that's best rated. And if you think about it, if people are spending at least whatever it is, 10 minutes on Google looking at different toothpastes and reading the reviews there, how much time do you think they're going to spend looking at different security businesses? Because that's a much bigger investment than a tube of toothpaste. So they're going to be doing their research online, reading what other people have said about you, reading about their experiences, feedback that they have for you, and then they're going to choose based on that. But even before they get to your reviews, you want to make sure that they can find you. So this is the first step in the customer journey. Obviously, we've talked a lot about it, but 82% of smartphone users find local businesses through their search engine of choice. And we see that most of those 82% prefer Google. So usually a life event happens that facilitates a search, like moving to a new house. They need a new security system. What people will most likely do is pull out their phone and search on Google, security systems near me, or security business near me, or alarm systems near me, whatever it is. They're going to search near them, and this has created what Google calls micro moments. So that's when a customer knows what they want, they have the intent to buy, they just need to be connected with the right business. So these customers, they know that they're going to buy a security system. And if you're not showing up when they're searching for you, they're going to find someone else because they have a problem that needs solving that you can solve for them. But if they can't find you, they're not going to choose you. So kind of the step #1 that we have out of the 7 tips that we have is be where your customers are. Where are they searching for you? We know that Google is a huge place that they turn to search for businesses. So make sure you're showing up on Google. Bing's another one. Set up social media profiles. Facebook is a huge one there. Instagram is continually growing. And then these industry-specific sites like Home Advisor, like Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages, whatever it is, make sure that you have some sort of presence on these sites wherever customers may be looking for you. Kind of a pro tip we have here of either when you're creating or updating these profiles is make sure that your name, address, and phone number, which is also known as the NAP, that they exactly match on each of your directory listings as well as your website. So say, for example, your brick and mortar location is located on 123 ABC Street, and you spell out street S-T-R-E-E-T on your website. Make sure that that's spelled exactly the same on your Google My Business listing, on your Facebook page, on all of these directory listings, because what that will do is it will tell Google that this is all the same business, which will build credibility both in the eyes of Google and of your customers. So that's a really easy tip that you can look for today when you're setting up your directory listings. But we want to focus a little bit now on Google and the Google Map Pack. So the Google Map Pack is what you see here on your screen. It's what shows up when somebody searches for a local business. So security business near me, or security business in Salt Lake City, Utah. When they include that location marker, what that will do is trigger local search results and the Google Map Pack. So the majority of clicks going to businesses are going to be on the businesses on this Google Map Pack. So it's really important that you're showing up here. And the first step, again, is to claim your Google My Business listing. This is free and really easy. It's something that you can do today. Once you're on the Google Map Pack, the next step would be to boost your rankings with online reviews. You want to get on the Google Map Pack, and then you want to get to the top of the Google Map Pack because that's where most people are clicking. So we've talked, David talked a lot about reviews, and we're going to keep talking about them because they are so important for your business, and it's definitely not something that you want to leave up to chance. You can see some of the stats we have here are pretty compelling. I want to focus on this last one. It mentions that 3.3 is the minimum star rating of a business consumers would engage with. So say your business has a 3.8 star rating. A customer may be willing to do business with you. But if that customer, when they're searching, if they search for best security system near me and include that word best, what will happen is Google will automatically filter out any business with less than a 4-star rating. So they would be willing to do business with you, but again, you won't be showing up when they're searching for you, so they won't even have the chance to make that decision. But your star rating isn't the only thing that Google looks at. There are 4 things that Google considers when determining rankings based on online reviews. First is quality. So that's your star rating and then also the information in the review. The second is quantity, how many reviews you have. The third is recency. So is your newest review from 3 months ago or is it from 2 days ago? And then frequency, how often are these reviews coming in? So because of these 4 things that Google looks at, you want to make sure you're getting as many reviews as possible on a consistent basis instead of just large quantities at once. And we'll talk later in the presentation about best practices for getting reviews, but a little spoiler is ask every customer for a review. That's how you get more reviews, and make sure you're focusing on those 4 areas that Google looks at. And we'll talk later about best practices for getting more reviews from your customers. That's just a little preview we have there.
Yeah, and this is a fun space too. I mean, this data point I've always found kind of interesting. 3.3 is the minimum. Guys, you don't want to be a 3.3, a 3.5, a 3.8, a 3.9. Like, honestly, if I see a business with less than a 4-star rating, I don't call them because there are other options out there. So don't just be satisfied if you get to a 4-star rating. Like, really push that up to be a 4.5, 4.6, 4.7. Get into that range and focus on volume. Because, again, if I'm on Amazon, even if something has a 5-star rating and it only has 10 reviews, instantly, I'm looking for something else. Think about how you behave as a consumer, the way that reviews impact you, and most certainly that's probably how they impact how people are looking for you guys. And also on this last point, I mean, yeah, while you're focusing on getting your listings up on every single page, making sure they're all streamlined, if that's a lot to bite off and chew, focus on Google. Get a Google listing up and running. Google owns, I see some studies that it's up as 95-ish% of the search traffic out there is coming through that Google device these days. And that's one of the best places to start. So let's pretend that we've done this. Everybody here on this call went home, they did their homework, they started working on it, they started asking customers for reviews. You have a good-looking business. And now in all of your markets, people are going to search for your business, or they're going to just search for local providers, and they're going to see you as a contender. What do we do after that? How do we actually then engage that customer, get that customer from a window shopper, but to actually convert in and come into the business? And this is what I wanted to focus a little bit on here, is this ability to attract more and pull in more volume. And so our step number 3 here is simple. Make it easy for your customers to reach you. And that sounds kind of silly, but it's true. We today still often have many processes and many hoops that our customers have to go through just to get in touch with us. Most of the time we have our phone number there, but they call us, We're on the phone, they have to leave a voicemail, it's too late. They're going to call somebody else and go somewhere else if they get a faster response. You have a form on your website that they can fill out. They can put in all their little details, and you're going to then send them an email to follow up. As easy as that process is, it doesn't really work anymore. I mean, again, we're business people, so we have to be on top of our emails. But our customers don't. They don't check their emails anymore. A lot of the data out there shows that it's about 3 out of 10 emails are even opened. That doesn't mean they're read, and it sure doesn't mean they're responded to. That just means they're opened. But I look at my own behavior when I'm opening my email inbox, I just click, 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 and then delete at mass. I don't even touch the emails anymore oftentimes, unless it's really something important. And so really, like, as you're building these processes, think about what's easy for the customer. How could you engage them? Some of the channels we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of. First one, text messaging. This is by far the largest one that people are missing out on. We're not texting our customers. We should be. They are texting everybody that they know. That's how we behave these days. And when you think about the opportunity here too, emails, again, 2 to 3 out of 10 are opened. How many text messages are opened? I'm sure you guys know the answer. It's basically all of them. It's like, I believe it's about a 99% open rate right now. In fact, it's about a 96% of text messages are read within 3 minutes of them being sent. I'm sure people on this webinar right now are on their phone texting. That's just what we do. And so if you can effectively build some of these doors and reach your customers through these channels, instantly think about the impact. Response rates go way, way up. Engagement goes way, way up. People are rescheduling less often. You're showing up to appointments and people are holding those appointments more often. Every single success metric goes up when you engage the customer in a way that's easy for them. Google Business Chat's another strong one, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, all these we can kind of touch on a little bit here.
Yeah, and phone and email are still great means of communication. Some people do prefer those, but like David was saying, people aren't reading their emails. I actually had a funny story with my mother-in-law. I was using her phone for something. I can't remember what it was, and I noticed that she has over 10,000 unread emails.
Yep.
There's no way that she is going to get an email from any business and read that email and respond. Odds are she's not reading any of her emails because she has so many, and most of them aren't pertinent to her right now. She prefers texting. And just because, that's one example, obviously there are other people who do prefer email. What we're saying here is open all of the channels so that whatever channel the customer prefers, they can connect with you. And it'll capture the opportunity of people who prefer texting, because there are businesses that are using text messaging. And for the customers that prefer texting, if your business doesn't offer it, they're going to find one that does, because that's most convenient for them.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes I hear a lot of people kind of balk a little bit that, well, my customers don't text. But again, the truth is they do. I mean, even the the boomers and higher, when you actually look at the data, they on average send, it's like 30 or 40 texts each and every month. They're still very active in those channels. Truth is, the younger people, we already left text messaging. We want Snapchat, we want all those other systems, and so just like you guys took over Facebook, you guys are now taking over texting for us as well. It's just a better avenue. The second one on here, though, I want to kind of just highlight. Obviously, everybody knows what Facebook messaging is. Instagram has it as well. But Google Business Chat is one that I see nearly every single security company that I talk to missing. You can go into the Google My Business settings. There's an option to toggle it on, and all it is a text message door, a chat door when people are browsing on their cell phone. Obviously, if they're on their computer browsing, it's not going to show business chat on Google, but if they're on their cell phone, each one of you guys can go today and turn that on, and then right next to the button to call your business, Google will put a button to message your business, and they can now call or text message you straight from Google. Again, we're not letting people not call you, but we're letting those that would rather text you. Maybe they're busy juggling kids, they're in and out of business meetings, or it's 9 o'clock at night when they finally get around for searching for this. They might not want to pick up at the phone to call you that late at night, but it's really easy to send you a text message through that chat system. Great thing is, these are also easier. You don't have to live answer the phone immediately. You don't have to stop what you're doing to respond. You can finish what you're doing and then open up the inbox, check to see if you've got any new messages and message them back through those. The fourth point here, though, is what we're going to move into next, is just add a clear call to action to your website. Even with texting and a phone number available right there on your Google listing, it's about 7 out of 10 customers will go to your website first. It is one of the most important pages today. People want to quickly go there and see, does this business look professional? Do they have the types of services I'm looking for? What are the other, and really just any other questions that I have about that business? And again, we're no longer doing this search from our computer. We're doing it from our cell phone. That changes the way that I want to look through things. When I'm on my cell phone, I want buttons, I want pictures, I want videos, I want things that are easy for me to consume from a cell phone. I read a lot less, I scroll, so if you've got long bodies of text on your website, might want to make some adjustments, might want to streamline that a little bit, clean it up a little bit, make it easy. So even as a business owner, like if you're looking at your own Google impact, your own Facebook impact, your own website, make sure you're doing it from your cell phone. If you're looking at your own presence from your desktop computer, you're kind of missing the picture. So what we recommend is having one of these bubbles. Everybody's seen these bubbles on websites before, these live chat systems, these chatbot systems. There's lots of ways that can go around them. The truth is, you put it on your website, it's almost about 2 to 3 times as many people submit their info to your business. It's pretty crazy. I talk to a lot of people who want to revamp their website, redesign it, change it all up. This is the fastest way to get a higher conversion rate from your website. You add a little bubble, hey there, have a question, message us here, text us here, chat with us here, and then instantly that customer who doesn't want to have to scroll through all the pages to find an answer will just ask you. And when you set up a system like this, be concise, respond, answer the question. There are lots of different options out there. You don't necessarily need a live chat system or a robot chat. There's also text messaging chat systems these days that are really convenient to make it so that you don't have to respond in the first 30 seconds. But having some sort of call to action on your website is instantly going to help you pull more people from your website into your lead funnel. From there, though, what can you do beyond that? And that's kind of what we want to transition to here now is now that you've got them, how do you then sell them on this? How do you engage them in that way?
This is one of the tricky parts of the customer journey because they found you online, you had great reviews, so you were the easy and obvious choice, and they connected with you in a convenient way that they preferred. But at any point leading up to this quote-unquote purchase stage of the customer journey, a customer can completely change their mind about your business and take their business elsewhere. Obviously, you want to avoid that. So some of the tips we have here in this purchase phase is to sell them on an experience. Again, this stat's going back to what we were saying, 90% of customers prefer texting to traditional methods of communication. Sell them not just on your security system or a one-time product or service. Sell them on the experience and the convenience of doing business with your business. This is one of the major things that we've seen change, with technology. Technology has totally transformed the customer journey, and one of the results of that is that customers are valuing convenience over loyalty. People aren't just going back to the same old car dealership that they've gone to before just because they've gone there before. They're doing business with the business that's most convenient for them. And whether that's the same business or not, doesn't matter. They are valuing convenience. So by making it really convenient for them to find you and connect with you, you can provide a seamless transition from this online world to actually doing offline business.
Yeah, and in this space again, like I personally, I think about my own use cases. So I have a landscaper that I work with. I've never met him. He's saved in my phone as a contact. And whenever I need anything, I just pull out my phone and I shoot him a text and he comes over and takes care of it. And then he sends me a text message back with a link to pay for it. And that is so easy for me as a consumer. Like I never have to get online first off and search for stuff. He's already in my phone saved there. He's my go-to. And same thing with your customers. Like when you move to these new channels, that's already how we like to associate with people. They'll save you in their phone as that point of contact. And now instantly, you know, support questions, engagement, upselling products, all of these opportunities are easier because you've removed those friction points for your customers. The easier process, the more convenient interaction you provide those customers, the better, you know, that they're going to stick with you and work with you in the long run.
Actually, I had an experience with this recently. My husband and I recently just closed on our house. So before we're going through this process, we were looking at a bunch of different loan officers, mortgage brokers, all of these different companies and getting different quotes. And there was one specifically that we texted. He had a textable number, so we texted him late at night because both of us work from 9 to 5, which is when most mortgage broker firms are open. We texted late at night around 9 o'clock and said, hey, we'd like to set up a call tomorrow. We weren't expecting a text back because we knew that they were probably closed. But that loan officer texted back immediately and said, I love texting. Call me or let's set up a time tomorrow. We can, you know, gave us a window of time. But just that one experience of him responding immediately saying, I love texting, because we had apologized for texting late at night. And he said, I love texting, text me anytime. That made it really convenient for us because we don't have time to get on long phone calls in the middle of the workday, but we do have time to send a quick text when we're in a meeting. You know, we have 10 seconds where we can respond to a question that he really needs the answer to immediately. So we ended up going with him, and it was a great experience for us. And that's just an example of connecting these online and offline worlds. Amazon's a great example. People go online, they find a product, they purchase it, and it's delivered to them offline. But that doesn't have to only work for Amazon. It can work for your security business. And here are some best practices we've seen with connecting these online and offline worlds. Respond to customer chats quickly. We've seen this magical number of about 20 minutes. During open hours, customers are willing to wait 20 minutes for a text response back. Imagine being on the phone on hold for 20 minutes.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to wait 20 minutes on hold, but during open hours, customers will wait 20 minutes, but you should respond as quickly as possible. And to do that, you can automate some, but not all your responses. Hours are a great example of something that you can automate, but keep in mind that human beings are really good at sniffing out if they're talking to another human being or a robot. So directly address their questions and personalize the responses. Use this opportunity to build a relationship with your customers. The second one is use an interaction management platform. So we talked earlier about, you know, signing into these different channels, text messaging, Google Business Chat, Facebook, Instagram, checking in to see if any chats have come in and then be responding to those. But if you were to find an interaction management platform that'll bring all of those messages into one inbox, that's a great example of how you can leverage technology to make it more convenient for your customer, but also for your business. We know you're busy. We don't want to add extra work to you or your staff, but find some software. Podium's an example. We are an interaction management platform, but whether it's Podium or something else, we highly recommend finding something to help you manage all of these chats so that they're not falling through the cracks.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of help with a lot of systems out there. And, you know, if you're not ready to jump into bed with anybody on something like that, obviously try stuff out on your own. But just know it does get difficult the more you start to add to your plate. And once you have all these channels up and running, it is very easy to get into that process of having kind of a leaky bucket and occasionally missing stuff. And this is money. These are people that, again, already know they need a system. They've seen that your reviews say that you're best in town. They are ready to pay that money to you as long as you just respond to them and get back to them. And that's one of the areas too, like on this, that I love, like this idea of personalizing these messages. It is so much easier through text message again, and I'm probably ranting too much on this, but it's true. Like when you think about emailing, we're always trying to be so formal, so appropriate, so just consistent in this formal fashion. But when you text message people, it is simple. They're going to say, hey, I need this, or hey, do you have any availability this week? And you just text them back and say, yeah, sure. How about Saturday around 2? I can't do 2. Can you do 3:30? Like, that is just really fast and easy, not only for the customers, but you as a business owner. You don't have to rely on such a steady, structured process and all these formal messaging. You can literally go back to the process of just human-to-human selling, like that personal interaction of selling your business and your services to them.
And opening these channels of messaging will bring in more leads for your business. If you have a good online reputation and you make it convenient for all customers to connect with you, it will bring in more leads, and you don't want that leaky bucket like David was talking about. You want to find a way to manage all of these leads. Another way to do that is to divide and conquer. So arm your team with the knowledge and skills that they need to respond to these messages, to close people via text, which we've seen so many times. If you trust your team members to communicate with your customers in person or on the phone or on email, give them a chance to communicate with them via text message, because that's what a lot of the customers are preferring. Here's a visualization of kind of how the communication channels have changed and increased through the years. Obviously, it started with traditional channels, phone and print, email and website and search started coming in, then social media and mobile devices. Now it's messaging and voice, and it's going to continue to grow and have new channels that customers are going to prefer. And this may seem overwhelming, but messaging doesn't just benefit the customer. And opening these channels may seem like it's just going to add work to your business and it's going to be very difficult to handle. But we've seen businesses also benefit from opening these channels. One way is that we've seen companies on average save 4 to 5 hours a week just by shifting communication from phone calls to messaging. Think if you call one customer, you need to call, wait for it to ring, they either answer or it goes to voicemail, and then you have a 3-minute conversation or you leave a 60-second voicemail. That's going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for one phone call. But sending that exact same information over text is more convenient for the customer and a lot faster for your business. So you can manage multiple conversations at once, jump in and out of conversations, and it'll save time for your business. It may seem like it's complicated and going to add work, but we've seen businesses save a lot of time by using messaging.
Yeah, and again, don't worry about this adding stuff to your plate. Once you really jump in, you'll start to see how much easier it is. Stop playing the phone tag game with your customers that never get back to you and have a hard time reaching. Stop trying to blast out thousands of emails hoping that some respond, and try it through texting at least. I've seen a lot of my security clients where they take all their old lists of leads, people that they've chased for years, and now they just create one quick text message. Hey, we know that you had previously been looking for a home monitoring system. Are you still on the market? And instantly, again, your open rates, your read rates, and your engagement rates skyrocket up to where you can reactivate a ton of old pipeline. You can make sure that you're confirming appointments and all those necessary steps. And the engagement back is going to be a huge, huge time saver for your team. And you're going to stop wasting so much time just tracking down people. This is this next subject of just kind of understanding. This is also a great way, again, to get feedback from your customers. Now that we actually have a channel where they are going to respond, we can leverage this channel for a lot of opportunity. Currently the stat on here, 50% of shoppers think that their feedback falls flat and doesn't get acted upon. And that's just, again, because of the process that's been in place. The current process up until date was a pretty tough process. NPS, Net Promoter Score, was a huge, huge industry trying to help businesses understand what their customers actually felt about them. But when you actually look at how that was done, it's pretty obvious why it kind of fell short. First off, it's 3 weeks after I've done any work with you, and then I get an email, and it says, hey, will you tell us about the experience? But again, this email 3 weeks ago, I first off don't remember, and 95% of the customers aren't going to read that email, or they're just going to bulk select it and delete it because they don't want to provide that feedback. So now you're left with 5% of the customers that actually click on it and feel motivated to fill out a survey. I don't know who those customers are, but they definitely aren't indicative of your average customer out there. That's not really the type of experience you want. So what's happened now is we're asking for feedback way after the service is done. We're getting slower feedback back into the company, and it isn't a two-way channel. You're literally getting a report back that hopefully your team does something with. It's still better than nothing. But now all of a sudden, if you open up texting again as an option, you can streamline this really, really well. Maybe you automate some of these steps, maybe you do it manually, but how about right after the job's done, hey, thanks for choosing us. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely would you recommend us? And because of now the high response rates, instead of getting about a 5% engagement, you're seeing upwards of 50% of your customers telling you how they feel. And they're going to say, well, you know, I give you a 7. Oh, well, bummer. What could have we done to make that better? What did we miss out on? They're going to let you know right then and there. And again, this is a two-way channel to where instantly you can resolve it. In fact, we had a client not long ago. It was, I believe it was an auto dealership where they had bought a car recently. They went through this experience, but then they gave I think it was like a 6 or a 7. And there was one specific item that they had frustration with. And then the sales rep hopped in and said, well, we're so sorry to hear about that. Let me do this for you and kind of resolve that. And then immediately the customer texted back and said, also, do you pay for referrals? And the sales rep's eyes lit up and he says, yeah, who do you got? And then instantly got a referral out of it. So literally turned a customer that gave them a 6, which historically that means they are not going to rave about your business, and instantly got a referral out of it in the same, hour of trying to get feedback after the service and after the work. It's crazy how impactful this can be. So kind of this just number 6, listen to your customers. Open up these doors and try to identify problems, situations, issues, or the successes. What are the things that they actually are saying consistently and regularly that maybe we should double down on? Maybe we should put some marketing dollars now reiterating that campaign. It's kind of funny, again, even just thinking about reviews. I drive to work every day, about a 30-minute commute on the freeway, and 3 years ago when I was here with Podium and reviews was kind of a new thing, nobody talked about it. But nearly every radio ad I see these days, every billboard I drive by, people are always talking about how they have 95% of their customers leaving 5-star reviews, or they literally have a testimonial review played during the advertisement. That is great content. It is really cool to be able to put up on a billboard in your area, even though billboards I probably wouldn't recommend, but being able to put something up there and say, we are the highest ranked and rated provider in the area. Give us a call and we will treat you better than anybody else. That's compelling. And if they actually then do a quick Google search and look up your name when they're looking for your phone number, and right then and there they see the proof in the pudding, yep, they're going to call you. Because really, any of your marketing dollars today are still going to funnel back to that Google engine. Whether it's radio, billboard, referrals from friends, I'm not going to jot down and just call you out of the blue. I'm going to Google search you, look you up, and then make a decision. But open up these doors, send out feedback to your customers, listen to what they're telling about you, fix the things that you need to resolve, take the things that they're saying that are a plus for you and turn that into promotion for your business. Or again, like literally, you could even just use this as a tool to get promotion from your business. This is kind of that review aspect again a little bit here, but this is a great way to start to make this effort.
Yeah, like David was saying, it's kind of a virtuous flywheel where customers find your business because you have a lot of great reviews and they have a great experience and leave you more reviews for more customers to find you and leave reviews for more customers. So going back to kind of the importance of reviews, 91% of customers trust online reviews and other folks' opinion on par with personal recommendations. Word of mouth has always been a huge part of business marketing and getting new customers. And that's just when people are talking to their family and friends. But how about someone posts online and they're talking to hundreds of strangers and giving their opinion of your business that will impact that stranger's purchase decision. So this is the last tip that we have today. Number 7, turn customers into promoters. So we talked earlier about those 4 things that Google looks at with your reviews: the quantity, the quality, the recency, and the frequency. So the best way to make sure that you're getting reviews on a consistent basis and that are recent and you're boosting your star rating is to ask every customer for a review. So you need to be gathering and responding to your reviews. The first step to do that is eliminate barriers. So most customers are going to have a great experience with your business, and most customers are willing to leave a good review, but they forget. Once you leave their house and install their system, the idea of a review goes out with you. Things get busy, life happens. Maybe they have the best intentions of leaving you a review, but once you walk out, someone else knocks on the door and it's a neighbor needing help or whatever it is. They're going to get distracted, and because of these barriers, maybe they don't know how to leave a review. Maybe they don't want to search for you on Google again, find the button to leave a review, and then leave it. But if you do most of the work for them by sending them a link directly to your Google reviews page, all they need to do is click the link, click their star rating, fill out their 1 to 2 sentences about their experience, and there you've got another 5-star review.
Yeah, and you've all heard it over and over again. Oh, of course I'll leave you a review, and then the review never comes. That is a very, very common. But the people that do go out of their way to leave you a review, you also know what that experience is. Happy customers get busy, just like Haley said, we get distracted, we're lazy, whatever you want to call it. But an unhappy customer, they want to shout from the mountaintops. And they literally will dig through the roots and find you online, find how they do it, and go through that process. And so this is a great way to spearhead that. And in fact, think about the flip of this. Think about asking somebody that had a bad experience to leave a Google review. Then all of a sudden they're going to say, I'm not leaving you a review until you fix this. And then all of a sudden you're not even going to get that negative review. You're going to fix the problem, and then you'll get actually a great review out of them. This is a great way to kind of spearhead this. And same thing, a lot of the expectations before this opportunity for texting, I have a lot of people who do ask customers for reviews. But what they do is they send, again, that email out 3 weeks after the job, and they send it to thousands of people over and over and over again. That doesn't really get the engagement that we need. And really, when you're thinking about texting, it doesn't need to even be a formalized standard set of process. How about instead, anytime you help a customer with anything, literally anything, they pick up the phone, they call you, you're on the phone with them, you answer a question, you resolve a concern, instead of saying, thanks, have a great rest of your day, why not just change the language to, thanks, have a great rest of your day. By the way, I'm sending you a text message right now. If you could leave our business a review, I would really appreciate it. Nothing magic to it. Just ask your customers after you've helped them with something. And you can get your Google link, put it in a text message, send it out to them. Again, you can get systems to help you with this. There's lots of options as far as getting these reviews online.
And when you're making it really easy to leave reviews and you're setting the expectations, hey, you're going to get a text message, I'm sending it right now, if you could take 30 seconds to leave us a review, it'll allow the happy, silent majority of your customers to paint an accurate picture online of the service that you provide. We always tell our customers the first step to getting 5-star reviews is to offer great service, and then the second is to make it easy for everyone to leave a review. Even if you do get a negative review from that motivated customer, or maybe you make it easy for that unhappy customer to leave a review, so you have 1 negative review, and then you have 20 happy customers after that leaving you a 5-star review. That 1-star review isn't going to have as much weight on your star rating as it would if it's 1 bad review and then 1 good review. That's 50%. But by making it really easy, seamless process, eliminating barriers, and setting these expectations, you're going to be getting more 5-star reviews if you're offering that kind of service.
And to be honest, again, don't shy away from negative reviews. As a consumer, and in the business world, I actually like negative reviews. They help paint a great picture about your business. Because again, when you look at the overall options and the overall numbers, 95% are happy. You've got a 4.7 star rating. Great. Now what I do is I then sort by the lowest rating reviews, and I want to see what negative experience have happened. And then all of a sudden, if right below a bad review, I see a response from the business addressing my concerns and helping fix those issues, me as a consumer now, I'm even more motivated because look, I know most everybody has a great experience, but now I also know that in the off chance I have a bad experience with them, they are going to resolve it. They've already shown that they do that. And that helps motivate me to go through it. So don't shy away from bad reviews. Embrace them, respond online, address them, fix them, and that will go a long way forward. So let's kind of just end here with a quick summary of these steps, the 7 points that we ran through. First off, obviously, be where your customers are. There's a lot of doors, there's lots of channels today. At least focus on Google. They are owning the market, they're owning the space. They are the ones that are innovating and driving the most towards it. Boost your rankings with online reviews. Hands down today, dollar for dollar, the investment into reviews will go further than almost any other marketing expense you could put in for your business. It's the new SEO algorithm. It's the way that Google builds confidence in you. It's the way that consumers build confidence in you. We want reviews, and if you provide them, you're going to get a lot higher calls, web traffic, and all those click-through rates. Make it easy for your customers to reach you. Open up these doors. The Google text message button, turn it on and let people text you if they would rather do that. Get a textable phone number and then put on your website, call or text us here. And then you can do that same thing in all your general advertising. Call or text us on this number here. Let them reach you through the channel that they want to. Number 4, your website is still a huge, huge driver. 7 out of 10 customers go there before they actually call you. Put a call to action on your website. And think about your website from that mobile experience. Is it wordy? Is it cluttered? Are there buttons? Are there images? Is there an easy way for that mobile shopper to quickly engage me? 5, connect the online and the offline. You get a ton of benefits from having these offline communication systems and these online systems as well. Make it so that people can reach you on their website, pull that conversation offline, and engage them in a channel that they respond to well through. Email is dropping off. It doesn't get as much response rates. Texting is rising up. And even phone calls, due to all the spam robocallers, they're not as engaging as they ever have been in the past. 6, learn from your customers. Listen to your customers. Take the feedback that they give you, apply it to your business. And in the same regard, take that feedback and put it online. Make your customer experience great, and then get that customer to go online and rave about you, so that Google has trust in you, so that everybody else online has trust in you, and you just get much more exposure. That's kind of the high-level summary of what we wanted to run through with everybody. I believe we have maybe some time for questions and answers, maybe some questions that have come in, but we'll turn the time back over to ESA.
Hello, Podium team. We do have some questions here. So let's say we've been sold and we want to start communicating with our customers tomorrow via text. What's the best way you can get a customer's number and permission to text them?
So there's a handful of options, and oftentimes the easiest is with some of these traditional systems, having a software help out with this. That way, when you have these doors turned on, especially these inbound funnels, when they message into you through text message, they will automatically be opting into those. Same thing with that Google click to text message button. By engaging through that channel, the customer is opting into those services. From an outbound reach point, there is still caution in some regard. Us as consumers, we don't want to just be blasted on a bunch of text message marketing lists. But if I come in and have a service and I am at the register with you, or I'm got the technician right there with me as well, as soon as I've provided that service, hey, I'm going to send you a quick text message if that would be okay. And if you could leave us a review, that'd help us. Or for some quick feedback about your experience today. While you're having those phone call interactions, those face-to-face interactions, that's a great time to ask the customer. And most people will say yes. Maybe some people will say, you know, I'd rather you email me. And great, send that one an email. Send those that are responding well to the text message.
Yeah, and if people don't want to give you their phone number because email is easier for them, then that solves the problem anyway, because their preferred channel is email, so you don't want to be texting them if it's not their preferred channel. So by setting the expectations, letting them know why you want their number, what they'll be getting and when, and not sending, we highly discourage against sending any sort of mass marketing email via text message, because you can run into a lot of issues there. But sending informational texts like a review invitation or an update on when the technician's going to get there, whatever it is, letting them know why you want their number and the text they will be getting, most people will be open to giving you their phone number.
Okay, we've got more questions here. And as a reminder, you can ask your question at the bottom of your control panel in that Q&A icon. This question is it possible to have texting capability, but to do it through a computer so that I can see an ongoing record of the texting? I'm not sure if I want someone from the office using their phone to text, and I'd also like a record of the messages that have gone back and forth.
Awesome, great question. Quick, easy answer, yes, there definitely are systems out there that can help you do that. We're one of them, we're the best one for that, and so if you want to talk with us, we'll show you our system. But in the same regard too, Google, iOS, a lot of these systems now do allow you to sync up your texting, your phone to your computer, and you can do it from there as well. And then if you guys have a CRM system or a database where you leverage all that conversation history, at that point it becomes very easy too to simply highlight from your computer, copy the text message threads, and paste it back into your CRM or your record of data and record those. But that's the great thing about texting. I mean, it is recorded data. It's kind of like your email. But I think you're right. It's a lot easier as a business to manage that from a computer than only on your cell phone.
And the nice thing about an interaction management platform, of course, we're going to be biased. We think that Podium is the best option for this. But with any interaction management platform, the nice thing is we have an app that will go on each technician's personal cell phone, but when they text from that app, it'll come from your business's phone number. So those customers will be getting messages and phone calls from the same number that they can have saved in their phone. When they text it, it might not be to the exact same technician, but it'll be the same number, and they'll be getting answers. All employees in the company will be able to see every inbound message coming in and the conversation history as well.
Yeah, I mean, we all know in this space that it's very common that there's turnover of employees, turnover of technicians, and if you've had a lot of people in your company, your sales reps out in the field talking from their own cell phone, it is pretty unfortunate that when they leave the company, you lose all of those conversations as well. And that's another huge added benefit of these online systems. Make it your business phone number that every employee uses. It can all come through one system, and you as a business own these conversations. You own these contacts, you own these records.
And there is both a desktop and an app version.
Yep.
Awesome. Please enter your last minute questions. I want to be mindful of time here, but we do have a few to get through. Is there an easy way to know if a prior prospect gave you a cell phone number or a business number?
A little bit of yes and no. If you were on your own, it would be a bit more difficult. Again, with systems online, they make it easy. They'll show you when you type in the number whether or not that's a textable number or not. But truthfully as well, I only have a cell phone. I don't have a home phone number or anything like that. And that kind of trend happens all over the place these days too. Most people right out of the gates typically provide a cell phone number. If you've got old records from, 10, 5+ years in the past, there might be a chance that more of those are more of those are home system and home phones. But with those as well, the default also, you could try, and if you don't get a response back, maybe assume it was a home phone system.
And if we didn't get to your question, or if you have questions after the webinar, or more specific questions, or you just want to use this as a resource to help your business, feel free to reach out to us at any way on the screen, and we'll make sure that someone reaches back out to you to answer your question.
Just a couple more here as we wrap up. Are there CRM integrations that Podium has out of the box, or would this be something custom that they would need to do afterwards?
No, definitely. We integrate with a lot of systems out there. As a company, we have hundreds of CRMs that we integrate at this point. So most of the more standardized ones we may already have a system with. Also, maybe not even the direct CRMs, things like QuickBooks, a lot of those other channels that you might use for billing, we can do integration through those. Or if you know that your current system works inside the Zapier network, we integrate with that whole entire network there as well. So that would be one that, yeah, we could look specifically up for you, and there's likely some options for integration and automation.
Awesome. And for those on the call and other ESA members that have a mixed portfolio that are both residential and also doing work in office buildings or retail environments, doing commercial work, have you seen this type of outreach work in both B2B and B2C settings?
Definitely. As a business and on an outbound focused effort, we typically go after the residential space just because it is a little bit more competitive and standardized how those customers go through flows. Obviously, in the commercial space, depending on what you're actually doing, if you're getting all your commercial clients through partner networks, you might not need a system for this. But think about the business owners as well. I mean, if I am a business owner and I don't have a network, I'm likely going to run through the same hoops as a residential provider. The great thing is, too, though, as a commercial play, Google knows what you guys do as well. And so if they see customers leaving reviews and they mention anything that's commercial focused, you know, I hired this business, they came over and helped our company with XYZ, instantly Google knows what search terms to throw your business in. And so I would definitely focus on the reviews, push those, and you'll get a lot of residual out of it. Same thing too, like partners, big companies, even employees. Everybody is attracted to the #1 player in the market. Like I have a lot of people who they don't feel like leads are their problem. They need employees. It's a difficult spot in the industry right now. But truth is, employees, if they're going to go work anywhere, they want to work with the company that they assume is going to likely always keep them busy and keep them fed. And they're going to assume that that's the company with the best reviews.
Well, thank you, David. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Podium. We'll be sending out a recording of this webinar tomorrow, and you can also catch it in ESA Integrator newsletter. I want to thank you for your time with us today. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll make sure we connect you with the experts here from Podium to get those answered.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.